Question.
Coach, you came out a lot stronger in this first half than against UConn. Was that a message coming in, or were these guys just pick up themselves?
Now, believe it or not, that's the message every game. Let's come out strong. The difference was, I think, our defense. I think our defense in the first half was very, very good. Throughout the game, for the most part, to the very end. But I think these guys did a good job. And Jason and Chris were chasing Hazel all night, but everyone was doing a very good job of helping, supporting, showing. I think overall, our defense was very, very good in the first half.
Could you talk about the minutes that Benjamin and Sims gave you 10 apiece? And
yeah, they were good. I mean, you know, you look at Henry goes in there, you know, gets 4 boards and 2 blocks in 10 minutes, and so that was a big boost for us. We needed that, and we need that from him. And so for both of those guys, you know, Jarrell has progressed to where he's comfortable out there. And we've all well documented his injury early in the year, kind of held back his progress. You know, and Henry's there. Henry was there. I thought they both were very good today.
Hazel really wasn't a huge factor until the last minute. How big was it for you guys to, you know, set the tone and keep him, you know, away from those shots and just keep him really out of their offense?
Yeah, that was a goal. As I said to some of you guys a couple of days ago at me today, he's so good, and they do such a good job of trying to get him shots. You can't bank on that, and you try to. And I think the reason we were somewhat successful is not just because of the effort of the 2 guys that were on him most of the night, but also, you know, what I said in my first answer, just because of the attentiveness of our whole team as to where he was and showing and supporting, and still getting back in front of our guy. I thought our guys did a very, very good job of helping everybody today, helping each other.
You said this week you can't afford to let down in this conference. The way this offense played tonight, it certainly did not. What fueled your offense tonight?
I think we're getting better. I told the guys that, you know, we're getting better. We're doing a very good job of finding what is there and not forcing anything. I think the guys are doing a very good job of sharing the game, of helping each other, and reading the situations. I mean, I think that's, you know, we're maturing. We're getting to a higher level of understanding where the reads are becoming more natural, and we're having some success.
In the second half, when they went on a bit of a run and cut it to 7, I think there were a couple turnovers they took advantage of. Was that more a lapse on your players' part, or were they doing something different, and to what extent were you concerned there?
Well, a couple things. This is the Big East.
Sure.
And teams are going to go on a run. The games are going to be games of runs. As you've heard me say, listen, the teams in this conference are too talented, too well coached to think you're just going to shut someone down for 40 minutes. Now, that being said, during their stretch, we had a few turnovers that we could control, and also they had a few offensive rebounds that we could control. And so we cleaned that up. You know, then maybe that run is shorter, but you know, I think the big thing where our guys are also getting better at is when we face a run, and we're going to face runs in every game, of just, you know, circling the wagons and coming out of that run focus. You know, finding a way not to let the run be prolonged. You know, UConn had a prolonged run, but just in general this year, I think we found a way to not let the opposition go on a prolonged run.
John, it's 4-1 now, and you said obviously this is the Big East, but you were also alluding to yesterday the schedule coming up for you, or 2 days off a game, 2 days off a game. Can you talk about where you are right now in the Big East, how good you feel about that, and then just the schedule coming up?
Nope. There's no need to talk about where we are. Really, it's too early to even think about where any of the 16 teams are. We're 5 games into an 18-game schedule, and so it's too early to start looking at that. You know, we have a couple days off, then we have a road game. A couple days off, and then road game. A couple days off, and then another game. And so that's the stretch. That's what it is. I mean, every team in this league goes through a stretch similar to that. Our guys are prepared mentally and physically for that.
guys in the first half, I think, had 9 steals, and obviously that leads to easy offensive chances. What was the biggest thing you saw the guys doing that was leading to those steal opportunities?
No, you know, it's funny you said it. I said this to them at some point at one of the timeouts. I think that we were very solid. You know, we were getting the steals because we were in the right help position. We were getting the steals because we were supporting our teammates. You know, it was not because we were out there taking risks. It was just the fact that we, you know, just our fundamentals, our principles, they were our group was very, very good at that in the first half. And in doing that, we were getting steals.
At the end of that run, could you talk about your guards reestablishing your tempo, kind of recontrolling the game?
Which
That's their late run, when they got to about 9 or so, I thought you guys were able to right the ship, so to speak. You didn't get sped up, and you did what you wanted to do.
Well, we've, you know, between the 3 guys that are behind me, I want to make sure who's behind me, they've done a pretty good job of that, a very good job of that all year. You know, and that's just the focus, you know, and the understanding that there will be runs, that you cannot emotionally get wacky, because teams are going to go on runs. You can't lose focus, and I think that they have done a very good job, you know, all year then.
Because we won't talk to you before Sunday, can you just talk about a little bit about how that, what you talked about with the steals and the solid defense, how that applies in preparation for Villanova?
I'll start looking at them tonight, so I'll be better. I can answer that a little better in a couple hours from now. I mean, that applies all the time. We have to do what we do, and that applies whether it's Villanova, whether it's Seton Hall, you know, whether it's St. John's, whether it's Pitt, any of the teams in our league. And so I don't necessarily think we have to have, as long as we are focused, as long as we're working together, you know, we don't approach it as that you need to be more heightened for one team. You can ease off on another team. That's how you get losses in this league.
Coach Gonzalez at one point said in effect, you know, certainly he knew the shooter that Austin was and was quite aware of Chris, but Jason was a bit of a surprise to him tonight. Could you speak to that strength of this team? You said before any one of these guys can score. I mean, at some point, I guess opponents are going to start expecting that more and more.
I hope not. You know, I hope not. But my answer is still the same one. We have a locker room full of guys that can score. You know, you look at Chris tonight. You know, Chris had 21 points, we had 6 assists, 3 steals, and no turnovers. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You look at Greg, and Greg, you know, got in foul trouble. You know, didn't have the offensive game. But coming down the stretch when they cut that, got it to 9 or whatever, he got 2 or 3 big rebounds, and I think he got a block in that point. So, you know, this group is a group. I've said it every other game that they are doing a very good job of helping each other. They're doing a good job of finding the proper shots for each other. And you know, it's not just these 3. We got a bunch of people in there that on any given night can score points, and they don't mind. We don't mind who's scoring as long as it's the right kind of shots.
Questions for the players?